Hello friends, once again welcome back to Angel Chemistry classes. Today we will discuss about the chapter 4 chemical bonding and molecular structure from class 11th, and the topic will be discussed here is valence bond theory. So enjoy it. Valence bond theory. This theory was proposed by Hitler and London. Later on, it was developed by Linus Pauling in order to explain the shape of molecules theoretically. So to understand better, we will take the example of the formation of hydrogen molecule. Consider two hydrogen atoms A and B. So here we have A and here we have B. So what I encircle are the nucleus of atom A and another one is the nucleus of atom B. So what happens when these two atoms are at larger distance from each other? There is no interaction between them, hence their potential energy is 0. When it will be 0? When there is no interaction. When they are far apart from each other, there is no interaction and the potential energy will be 0. So what happens when they are coming close to each other? So there will be attraction force and repulsive forces also between them. Attractive forces arises between nucleus of one atom and electrons of other atom. So here you can see it is the nucleus. This nucleus of one hydrogen atom attracts the electron of atom B. The same way, nucleus of atom B will attract electrons of atom A. Clear? The same way, repulsive forces will arise between these two nuclei A and B, and the electrons of atom A and electrons of atom B. Okay? Experimentally, it has been found that the magnitude of new attractive force is more than the new repulsive force. So the two atoms approach each other and the potential energy decreases. So already we considered that when they are far apart from each other, there is no interaction and their potential energy is 0. Now they are coming close to each other. So what happens? Their potential energy decreases. At a particular stage, the net attractive force balances the net repulsive forces. Hence, energy becomes minimum. So here you can see when these two are far apart from each other, their potential energy is 0. So once they are coming close to each other in this picture, the potential energy becomes less than 0, and when the net attraction force become equal to net repulsive forces, the energy becomes minimum. Okay? At this stage, hydrogen atoms are said to be bonded together to form a stable molecule. The distance between the two atoms in this stage is called bond length. The amount of energy liberated at this stage is called as bond enthalpy. Valence bond theory can be easily understood by orbital overlapping concept. So it has some characteristics. The covalent bond is formed by the overlapping of the two half-filled atomic orbitals present in the valence shells of atoms. Second is both the electrons should have opposite spin. Both the electron means electron of one atom and electron of another atom. Their spin should be opposite. Next, when the overlapping is done, electrons get paired and a stable covalent bond is formed. Greater the extent of overlapping, stronger the bond formed. Overlapping is of two types. First one is the axial overlapping. Another one is the lateral overlapping. So we will study axial overlapping first. Axial overlapping means when the overlapping of atomic orbitals takes place along internuclear axis, it is called as axial overlapping or end-to-end or head-to-head overlapping. The result of this overlapping is the formation of sigma bond. The electrons present in sigma bond are called as sigma electrons. Keep in mind, all the single bonds are sigma bonds, and the sigma bond is formed by the following ways, following overlappings. First, SS overlapping. Its name SS overlapping says that both the atomic orbitals will be s orbital and they will be half filled s orbitals. So you can see in this picture, this is first s orbital with one electron. This is another s orbital with one electron. Both the electrons should have opposite spin. When they will interact with each other, overlap with each other, the overlapping is called as SS overlapping. Similarly, when the overlapping between s and p orbital will be taken place, so here you can see it is s orbital, this is p orbital, they are overlapping head to head, overlapping along their internuclear axis will result into sp orbital and the formation of sigma bond. Third is pp overlapping. When both half filled p orbitals will overlap along their internuclear axis, this overlapping will result into pp overlapping and the formation of sigma bond. Second type of overlapping is lateral overlapping. When the overlapping is perpendicular to the internuclear axis, it is called as lateral overlapping. It results into the formation of pi bond and the electrons are considered as pi electrons. So here you can see this is one p orbital, this is another p orbital, this is the internuclear axis, but their overlapping is perpendicular. So this results into the formation of pi bond, and the electron cloud you can see it is just above the plane and below the plane. Pi bond is always present along with a sigma bond because single bond is always a sigma bond. Multiple bonds contain sigma as well as pi bonds. So in double bond there will be one sigma and one pi bond. In triple bond there will be one sigma and two pi bonds. So here you can see the difference between sigma and pi bond. Sigma bond is formed by head to head or end to end overlapping. Pi bond is formed by lateral overlapping. The formation of sigma bond is due to the overlapping between SS, SP and PP orbitals, whereas in pi bond the overlapping will be in between only PP orbitals. Next difference, the overlapping is quite large in sigma bond, that's why it is a stronger bond, while in pi bond overlapping is very small, so it is a weak bond. In sigma bond electron cloud is symmetrical, whereas electron cloud of pi bond is unsymmetrical. sigma bond consists of only one electron cloud, symmetrical about the internuclear axis, whereas in pi bond consists of two electron clouds. One is above the plane, another one is below the plane. In sigma bond, free rotation is possible, whereas in pi bond, free rotation is not possible due to multiple bondings. In valence bond theory, the main thing is the overlapping between the atomic orbitals. But keep in mind, atomic orbitals after overlapping will be atomic orbitals only. There won't be any new orbital formation. Okay, so this is all about valence bond theory. I hope